Hello everybody, it's Vincent Grasso and welcome to another episode of my channel. And today I wanted to talk about white canes and identification canes and the tips I bought for my white canes and a few other little details. So let's talk about it. Well, I want to start off by saying if you, and this is my opinion, but if you are somebody who has limited vision, you're visually impaired or blind, but this is mainly towards visually impaired people. You might be like I was. I mean, I didn't want to do the white cane. I didn't want to feel handicapped. I felt embarrassed when I was out in public. I didn't want to do that, but I knew I had to. So, because I kept hurting myself. Now, my opinion is the fact that I feel everybody should learn how to use the white cane. That means everybody should seek help. So, what does that mean? Contact your Association for the Blind in your state. Do what you can. There's all states are different, but there is something out there for you. Okay, that if that means you can get free assistance with mobility training, like I did. I had 10 free visits, and then I signed up on top of that through the state for further assistance where they'll pay for it. And it took 8 months, but I just got to go through the other day. So in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing more mobility training. Now, I've had a lot of white cane walking, like in the summer, spring and summer, I walked 5 miles here, 2 miles there, a mile here. I did a lot of white cane walking. So you would think that I was getting to be a pro. Not the case. There's so much more I don't know. So the more training I get, the better. But I've learned not to be embarrassed by it. I embraced the cane, which I think everybody should. So I don't want to babble on, but I just wanted to throw that out there and just talk about my canes. So I'm going to start off with my white cane, and I'm going to add a little bonus in this video for you too. And if my voice is hoarse, it's because I'm getting a cold, and it's not fun, but that's part of living in New Hampshire. So this is my white cane. It's a 4-segmented cane. It's 12-inch segments, and it comes up to 52 inches in total. It's got a strap that holds it all together so it doesn't fly open. And it's made of graphite shaft, which is very strong. I could have got aluminum or plastic, but plastic will break. Aluminum can bend. Aluminum's really cold in the winter. And graphite doesn't get really cold, and it can bend, but it always goes straight. I mean, I'm 200 plus pounds, and I have gotten this jabbed in my gut while walking, and I have bent the cane, and guess what? It didn't crack, it didn't make a crackle, it did nothing except conform back to its straight self. So, very good. This is an Ambutech cane. So it wasn't my identification cane, I'll tell you ahead of time, but I love the Ambutech company. You can get these in all sorts of colors. You can get solid colors, you can get, black, red, blue, yellow. I'm pretty sure you get pink. But I recommend you stick with the white and red for awareness purposes, because a lot of people don't even know half the time what these are. Like the white cane, yes, it gives off the fact of blind, but when it comes to identification cane, I'll tell you a story along with the identification cane in this video that'll let you know how people don't know. But anyway, so this is the tip. Well, let me close it down a little so I don't smash things. I tend to knock things over a lot. And it's a rollerball tip. It rotates 360 degrees, and I absolutely love this tip. But we'll get back to that. I want to get on to this grip. So it has what we call a putter grip. So that means one side of it is completely flat. Now, why is it flat? I'm going to tell you from mobility training, from a professional. When you hold a baseball bat, you hold it with your hands tightly closed, right? But when you hold a putter, even when you're playing golf, they recommend you put a finger, your index finger or pointer finger, or your nose-picking finger, right down the flat side of the grip. Now, why do we do this? Because when your cane is on the ground, it gets the vibrations, and the vibrations go to the tip, to the shaft of the cane, to your hand, through your finger, and up your wrist, and into the impulses of your brain. And when I first was told this, I was like, oh, it didn't matter how I held it, it didn't seem different to me. But the longer I used it, the more I noticed it. So that's why. So it's very important. It will be hard at first, just let you know. When I was walking a lot, my wrist would bother me. I got a lot of wrist fatigue because my index finger was still pointing out. It's not as simple as you think, but your body adapts and you get used to it. After a week constant, no more fatigue. But anyway, so back to the tips. Again, this is my favorite tip. It's the rollerball tip. It's about a little over 2 inches all around. It's a little worn down right now. I need to eventually get a new one, but this is my most used roller tip. It's like having a 4x4 vehicle on the end of your cane. It will go over anything: roots, rocks, sand, holes, cracks, you name it. I rarely ever get this one jammed or stuck in something. I think it's only been like twice, and that was in harsh conditions. So my big recommendation, but I live in a rural area where there's a lot of trees and roots and all that, so that's why I went with this one. But I'm very happy I did. Now, if you live in a city, I have another tip. This is called a roller marshmallow tip. This would be perfect for cities. However, it does still get caught in things. Like if you have a big enough crack, it'll get caught. I took this to Portsmouth, New Hampshire. It still got caught in like the bricks, because some of the sidewalks are old and they had bricks and everything. But it was very rare. It didn't happen constantly. So highly recommend. Now remember, there's two different marshmallow tips. There's a solid, which will get caught a lot, and then there's the roller marshmallow. So when you're swaying, if you're not a tapper with your cane, if you like to sway your cane back and forth, left to right, you want the rollers, because it will help you tremendously on not getting stuck and caught up. Now, I just want to point out, each one of these tips have a hook on the inside that goes inside the shaft. You want the hook tips. Ambitech sells hook tips, and they sell tips that go over the shaft. So it's like a male to female and a female to male association. So you want the hook tips. Why? This is my opinion, but I'm pretty strong on it, and I'm sure anybody would agree. You feel more vibration through your hand through the hook tips, because it's firm, it's solid when it's in there, it's tight. But if you have the ones that go over, they can kind of be flimsy and move around, and you're just not getting the sensation. There's a reason for it anyway, because the hook tips are a little bit more money, but it's better to pay the extra $2 for something that's going to get you better results. I have this. This is called a roller wheel tip. Now, if you can't see it, it just looks like a ginormous rollerblade wheel, but it's a soft, cushy rubber tire on a little plastic rim with a bearing, and it's got a fork with the hook, obviously. And I bought this one with the cane. So when I bought my cane, it was the rollerball tip, the cane, and I bought an extra one, which was this one with it. Now, why did I get this one? Because first off, I didn't have cane training. I didn't even know it existed around here, and I just needed a cane, and I didn't know how to sway it and this and that, and I didn't want to do that, so I got lazy. I was doing a lazy way, and I figured if I could just stick my cane in front of me, I could feel the dips in my dirt roads at my house, and it worked. I will say it worked, but it didn't protect my shins, it didn't protect my knees or my thighs. I'd walk into branches, sticks, picnic tables. I hit picnic tables. Oh man, that hurts. Don't walk into a picnic table. So this is a rollerball tip. Do I recommend it? Yeah, it might be good for something, but I wouldn't go running to buy it unless you knew what you really wanted it for. I mean, you could count stairs with this thing, no problem. Just 1, 2, 3. Instead of feeling the stairs, you just roll it down the stairs. I mean, I'm sure stuff like that, or roots. I've used it for trails, and I can tell you how many roots are ahead of me, stuff like that. But do you need to buy it? No. Highly recommend the roller tip, though. Highly recommend. Okay, it can be used for all terrain, but the difference between the roller ball and the roller marshmallow is, I highly recommend, if you live in a city, use this one first, because this is a lot lighter than the roller ball. So the roller ball is going to give you more wrist fatigue, as the marshmallow tip will not. And it's only 1 inch tall and about 1 inch wide. So that'll let you know it's a light tip, and it's probably going to be a lot easier for you to get around with this tip. But I got used to this rollerball, and I can't live without it. I use it more than anything. So I will use the marshmallow if I go to like a city or something. So that's my white cane. Moving on to my identification cane. This is my ID cane, and again, it's got a strap just like the other one to keep it closed. If I open it up, it's 28 inches long. It's white and red with a red tip, just like my white cane. But the difference between this and my white cane is people will know when I'm on the road or street that I'm visually impaired or blind. But however, not everybody knows what these are, and I wish they did. So this is what my videos are partly for, not just to help you, for awareness for anybody who might be visual and still can see, and you have a loved one maybe that's visually impaired or blind. Spread the awareness for us, okay? Let people know what these are for. These also mean the same thing. So for example, 2 weeks ago, my wife, my kids, and I were at Walmart, and the weather was warm, so all the snow was melting. So they had leaks all over and little black buckets everywhere. And my wife stands in front of the carriage when we're going, because I'll push it and I'll hold this on the side of the handle as I'm pushing the carriage. And what happened was, my wife stopped me, and she had to walk away from the carriage. As soon as she walks away, she's gone. I can't see her anymore. Like, her silhouette is not even there. After 4 or 5 feet, you're gone. So she went to move the black bucket as it was in front of it was a little bit in the aisle of the register, and she didn't want me to tip it over because it was full of water. So as she was doing that, she was telling me how there was a bucket there, and a lady next to us with her family members was so impatient, and it was not busy, by the way, and she saw this cane, and she started swearing profanities at me and my family, and it was just ridiculous, no need of it, and it was rude, period. But I still deal with that, even with this, from time to time, just way less. So there are people that know, but there are ignorant people out there that don't still. She was so impatient that she had to swear at us. My 2.5-year-old daughter could hear her. And then I hear my wife saying, "What did you just say to us?" And I asked my wife, I'm like, because I didn't even realize she was yelling at us. I just thought she was yelling at somebody else. And I said, "She's talking to us?" And my wife's like, "Yeah." So people like that. And then when I went to say something to her, like, "Can you see the cane lady?" She was gone. She walked over to the register next to us, which there was nobody there, and just started making her purchases. And didn't reply to my wife saying, "What did you say to us?" So there's people out there just impatient and rude. But she was clearly swearing at me and my kids. Ridiculous. She was an older woman. She should know better. But anyway, that's my little story with that. But this is awesome because it has saved me so many times. I love this thing. I take it everywhere with me. Okay? Everywhere. It's made by Ambitech, which I already mentioned. This is aluminum, but it doesn't get cold because it's in my pocket all the time. It's big enough. It'll fit in a purse, your pants pocket, but even my inside jacket pocket. That's where I usually have it because it's winter. But I don't go anywhere without it. Yes, I feel like the marching band idiot sometimes when I'm carrying this because it's only 28 inches. I recommend if you have a lot of vision loss, get a longer one, okay? They sell them in like 48 inches. Get a longer one. You can even get longer than that. It'll help you because I have my peripheral vision. I thought 28 inches was sufficient, but even now, I think I might want to get a longer one. But, for example, you ever go to Walmart, anybody who's been to Walmart, it's been in the clearance aisle, and it's always a mess. So boxes protrude off that shelf. So I've walked into stuff. This, if I'm close to a shelf on this side, I have it at like this, so it hits. If I have it close to a shelf on that side, it hits. It'll hit this first. And it lets people know. So, for instance, if I'm in a supermarket at the soup can aisle, someone, before I owned this happened to me numerous times, I would stand there and be waiting at the carriage for my wife to grab things and come back. Well, someone will be impatiently waiting for me to move, but I can't see them, nor do I know that they're waiting for me. So they'll huff and go, and reach around me and say, "I need to get this," and then mumble something as they walk away. And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I didn't know. I'm visually impaired, I gotta tell them." But this way, when I'm holding this, they actually say, "Excuse me, I need to grab something behind you. Can you please move?" And that is so much more convenient. I'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry," and I'll move for them, and everybody's happy, smiling, and "See you later." And sometimes even conversations start up, and I love talking to people, so they'll ask what they are. And I love giving awareness to them. But anyway, that's my ID cane. Now, pricing. I bought these from a company called Maxi Aids out of New York. Okay, I paid $12 for this one, and it cost me like $5 shipping. And then I had to buy a few other things because I think they have like a max before on a ship purchase. But you have to look into that. But Maxi Aids, I'm not promoting them or anything. I've had good experience with them. Well, promoting them, but I'm not sponsored by them is what I'm trying to say. But I've had good experience with them, and I don't mind the prices. They are a little bit pricey, but anyway. And then my cane cost me $60, but that's including 2 tips. Okay, and each tip's usually around $10. So, and that was including the shipping costs. And I also bought a graphite shaft. If you buy a plastic shaft, a lot cheaper. Buy aluminum, I think aluminum's cheaper than graphite too. So you could take those. They do make them in different breaks. Like, yes, mine's 12 inches, but that's what I wanted because I didn't want it to snap on me. So I thought if I went thinner with more breaks, I would either break it or I wouldn't get as much vibration through more breaks segments in the cane. Now I wanted to add one more thing, and it's this holster. Okay, I made a holster for my ID cane, and it cost me $1. So this is one of Vinny's famous think out of the box moments. So if you go to a dollar store, and every state has a dollar store. I've not been to a state yet that hasn't had a dollar store. They have Android cell phone cases. That's all this is. And I cut the bottom of it open, just with the scissors, just one cut. And the cane fit in perfectly. And I can put this on my belt, on the side of my hip, and I don't have to worry about sticking in a bag. It won't fit in, this and that. So there you go. So $1, you can't beat that. I'm sure if you bought a real holster for a cane, which I know they sell them, they're going to be a lot more than $1. I've used this for almost a year, and it is not broke. So can't beat $1. So this was my cane video. I hope you liked it. I don't want to press it for too long, but in my opinion, I think everybody should at least get the training you need for canes. Yes, you could teach yourself, like that's what I was doing. I was listening to YouTube on how to use one, but it's nothing compared to one-on-one experience with a mobility specialist. Trust me, it was a lot of fun and embarrassing. I had to go like Rite Aids and do circles around it. I had to like bump into people and apologize and this and that, but it was fun. And you learn things like how to map out a store when you walk in. Like, I didn't think of these things. I had to walk into a store and I had to stand there and listen, close my eyes because my peripheral, but pretend I couldn't see anything, close my eyes and just listen and know where the registers were on my left, know that people in the produce aisle, you could hear the water spraying the veggies, and then you make a visual map in your mind of what the store looks like. Then you do a walk around this perimeter, and then you do a center walkthrough, all while like blindfolded. It's crazy, but you will learn so much. Get the one-on-one, people, okay? If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. If you want future videos, hit the notification bell. If you like this video, please hit the like button. And more than anything, please comment on these videos. I absolutely love your comments, and I love replying to you guys. Like I said, you're not just subscribers, you're my friends, and I love you all. So, question of my video will be, do you think everybody should get mobility training or not? Let me know. Do you think you should get a cane? Let me know in the comments section. And I hope you guys enjoy your week. Oh, wait a minute. One more thing. You can get a cane for free. You have to ask your association for the blind, and they can give you one for free. You don't have to purchase it like I did. I'm so sorry, I almost forgot to mention this. But it's hard when you're unscripted and you can't edit your videos yet. But this is so you can get them for free. And there's programs online, if you just Google it, that will give you a cane for free as well. But you're stuck with whatever type of cane they give you. You might be a solid, not segmented. But you can get a segmented cane from the Association for the Blind in your state. Just ask around, okay? They'll give you that and a tip. All right, and that's it. So please leave a comment, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. Thank you guys. Have a good day.